Hi everyone. Today we are going to start the topic that is Act 3, Scene 1, The Death of Caesar from the drama that is Julius Caesar. In this class we are going to discuss about the question answers as well as the MCQs related to the topic. Let's start our first question that is who among the following is not waiting on the road for Caesar to pass? So it was option number C, that is Lucius. Next, why does Artemidorus urge Caesar to go through his letter first? It will be it is concerned with the conspiracy against Caesar. Option number A. Next, Cassius says that he fears their purpose is discovered. What is the purpose? So it will be option number B, to murder Caesar. Okay, option number B, to murder Caesar. Next, what does Cassius say he would do if their purpose is revealed? So it says he will kill himself. Option number D. Next, according to Caesar, what will be the effect of Metellus symbol stooping and cringing on ordinary men? It will be option number B. Inflame the pride of ordinary men. Sixth number, what would Caesar do with Metellus symbol if he would pray on his brother's behalf using humble flattery? It will be option number C. Will not change the sentence of banishment. Seventh number, with whom does Caesar compare himself in the scene of the play? That is Polestar. Next, how do the conspirators make request to Caesar regarding Publius' symbol that will be feigned servility? Next, which attitude of Caesar is seen in his act of denying Metellus' symbol's petition? It will be arrogance. Next, how do the people of Rome run after Caesar's murderers? As if it is the doomsday. Okay? Doomsday basically. 11th number, how according to Brutus have they helped Caesar by murdering him? So it will be by preventing him from becoming a ruthless dictator. Then, according to Cassius, how would the people describe the group of Caesar's murderers in future? The liberators of the country. Then, how does Brutus seem to see the murder of Caesar? As a solemn act of purification of Rome. Then, according to Antony, how was Caesar brought by? Like a stag by horns. Then, what appears as the main cause of Brutus' failure in the scene of the play? It is error of judgment. Now, we shall be doing the question answer related to the workbook. All the passages we are going to see and discuss the answers. Okay, so you should note down these answers in your workbook or in your copies. Here comes the first contextual question, that is, first number, that is Caesar. He says to the soothsayer, the Ides of March are come. Soothsayer says, I Caesar, but not gone. Artemidorus says, Hail Caesar, read this schedule. To which Decius says, Trebonius doth desire you to overrate. At your best leisure, this is humble suit. Now, the question comes, where does this conversation takes place? Why did Caesar tell the soothsayer, the Ides of March are come, when he had met the soothsayer before? So the correct answer to this one is the conversation takes place in Rome in front of the Capitol. Caesar tells the soothsayer the Ides of March are come because earlier in Act 1, Scene 2, the soothsayer had warned him to beware the Ides of March. Caesar's statement is a reminder that the predicted day has arrived and he is unharmed, showing his confidence and dismissal of the warning. This reflects Caesar's arrogance and belief in his invincibility, which ultimately leads to his downfall. Second answer, the question is, who is Artemidorus? Whom does he represent in the play? What is the importance of his schedule? The answer is, Artemidorus is a schoolmaster who represents the common citizen of Rome. His schedule is a letter warning Caesar about the conspiracy against him. The importance of the schedule lies in its potential to save Caesar's life as it names the conspirators and reveals their plot. However, Caesar's refusal to read it highlights his overconfidence and tragic flaw, leading to his assassination. Next, why does Artemidorus request Caesar to read his schedule first? With reference to a previous scene, show how Artemidorus' fears are justified. Answer to it is, Artemidorus requests Caesar to read his schedule first because it contains urgent and personal information that directly concerns Caesar's safety. His fears are justified in Act 2, Scene 4, where Portia and Soothsayer also sense impending danger. The tension and foreboding is in these scenes emphasize the real threat posed by the conspirators, making Artemidorus' warning crucial. However, Caesar's dismissal of the schedule seals his fate. Fourth number, mention two reasons given by Caesar for not reading the schedule handed over by Artemidorus. Which trait of his personality is revealed by his act? Caesar gives two reasons for not reading the schedule. The very first is, whatever affects him personally will be addressed last. Second, official petitions should be presented at the Capitol, not in the street. This reveals Caesar's sense of duty and his belief in prioritizing public matters over personal concerns. However, it also highlights his overconfidence and inability to recognize the immediate danger, which proves fatal. Name the two people in the scene who are trying to warn Caesar. Name two other people who defeat their efforts to do so. Which theme of the play is highlighted here? Explain it briefly. Answer is, two people trying to warn Caesar are the soothsayer and the a person named Artemidorus. Two people who defeat their efforts are Decius and Publius, who distract Caesar and prevent him from reading the warning. The theme highlighted here is the conflict between fate and free will. Despite multiple warnings, Caesar's overconfidence and the conspirators' manipulation ensure that fate takes its course. Okay? Moving on to question number 2, the dialogue between Cassius and Brutus. First, Cassius says, Casca, be sudden, for we fear prevention. Brutus, what shall be done? If this be known, Cassius or Caesar never shall turn back, for I will slay myself. Brutus says, Cassius, be constant. Populus, Lena speaks not for our purposes, for look, he smiles, and Caesar doth not change. So here, question number 1, if this be known, what does this refer to? If it would be known, what could happen? They're talking about the conspirator which they had focusing, okay, in order to assassinate Caesar. Okay, so to what it is asking, if this be known, what does this refer to? So the answer is, this refers to the conspiracy to kill Caesar. If the plot were known, Cassius believes that he and the other conspirators would face severe consequences, including death. Cassius even declares that he would kill himself rather than face or capture or punishment. This reflects the high stakes and the conspirators' fear of failure. Second question: what duty is assigned to Casca? Why should he be sudden? The answer is Casca is assigned the duty of being the first to stab Caesar. Okay, he must be sudden to ensure that the assassination is carried out swiftly and without interruption. This urgency is necessary to prevent Caesar from defending himself or escaping and to minimize the risk of the conspirators being discovered or stopped. Question number 3: what was Populus Lena said and done which makes Cassius to fear? What did they think that Lena was saying? How does Brutus show them that there is nothing to fear? So the answer is Populus Lena tells Cassius, I wish your enterprise today may thrive, which makes Cassius fear that Lena knows about the conspiracy and may warn Caesar. However, Brutus reassures Cassius by pointing out that Lena is smiling and Caesar's expression remains unchanged, indicating that Lena has not revealed the plot. This moment highlights the tension and the paranoia among the conspirators. Moving on to the fourth question, that is, what was the task assigned to Trebonius? What petition did Metellus Symbol present to Caesar? In what way did he flatter Caesar? The answer goes Trebonius' task was to distract Mark Antony and keep him away from Caesar during the assassination. Metellus Cimber presented a petition to Caesar asking for the repeal of his brother's banishment. He flattered Caesar by kneeling and using humble gestures. Appealing to Caesar's ego and the sense of power, this flattery is part of the conspirators' plan to lower Caesar's guard. Fifth number, give two of the arguments given by Caesar to reject the petition made by Metellus Cimber. Which trait of Caesar's character is highlighted in these arguments? Okay. Caesar rejects Metellus' petition with two arguments. The first one, he states Caesar doth no wrong, emphasizing his belief in his own infallibility. He adds, nor without cause will he be satisfied, meaning he will not change his decision without a valid reason. These arguments highlights, however, Caesar's steadfastness and arrogance as he refuses to yield to flattery or reconsider his decision, even when it puts him at risk. Okay, moving on to the third question, that is, Caesar says, but I am constant as the northern star, of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. The skies are painted with unnumbered sparks, they are all fire, and everyone doth shine. But there is but one in all doth hold his place. So in the world 'tis furnished well with men. Here the question is, what is the northern star? Give the meaning of whose true fixed and resting quality there is no fellow in the firmament. So here the answer is the northern star refers to the north star, which is constant and unchanging in the sky. The phrase means that the north star is unique in its fixed and unwavering position, with no other star in the sky matching its stability. Caesar uses this metaphor to compare himself to the North Star, emphasizing his constancy and unshakable nature. Second one, why does Caesar compare himself to Northern Star? What is the occasion for such a comparison? Here says Caesar compares himself to the northern star to highlight his steadfastness and refusal to change his decision. The occasion for the comparison is his rejection of Metellisimbur's petition to repel his brother's banishment. Caesar's comparison reflects his arrogance and belief in own infallibility, which ultimately contributes to his downfall. Third question: state the comparison made by Caesar between the firmament and the world of men. The answer is Caesar compares the firmament filled with countless stars to the world filled with men. Just as the North Star is unique in its fixed position among the stars, Caesar sees himself as unique and unchanging among men. This comparison underscores his belief in his own superiority and constancy even as it isolates him from those around him. Fourth question: why is Caesar so stubborn in his attitude towards the conspirator? What purpose does his stubbornness serve on the dramatic effectiveness? Caesar's stubbornness stems from his arrogance and belief in his own infallibility, refuses to yield it to the conspirators' flattery or reconsider his decisions even when it puts him at risk. This stubbornness heightens the dramatic tension as it seals his fate and makes his assassination inevitable. It also emphasizes the tragic flaw in his character, leading to his downfall. Fifth number: what horrible event is about to take place in a short time? Who was the first to strike? Why is Antony absent from the scene? What could have happened if Antony were to be present on the scene? The answer is the horrible event that is about to take place in a short time was that very shortly an attack was planned on Caesar to kill him. The first to strike was Casca and Brutus was next. Antony was away from scene as Trebonius has skillfully took away Mark Antony from the scene just before the attack on Caesar. If Mark Antony were present, he would have tried to prevent the attack on Caesar and would have attempted to save Caesar from getting killed. Okay, it will be Antony, Antony. Okay, next question 4, that is Brutus. Fates, we will know your pleasure. That we shall die, we know. It is but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon. Cassius, why? He that cuts off 20 years of life cuts off so many years of fearing death. The answer to this is the question is when does the conversation takes place? In what state of mind are Brutus and Cassius? The answer is this conversation takes place just after the assassination of Julius Caesar. Brutus and Cassius are in jubilant and triumphant state of mind, believing that they have saved Rome from tyranny. Their confidence and sense of accomplishment are evident in their words as they reflect on their actions and the future of Rome. However, their jubilation is short lived as the consequences of their actions soon unfold. Next, what is meant by the fates? State in your own words what the fate were responsible for according to the extract. What do men know and what do men know and what do they fear? The answer is the fates refer to the three goddesses of destiny in classical mythology who control the life and death of individuals. They are responsible for determining the time of a person's death. According to the extract, men know that death is inevitable, but they fear the uncertainty of when it will occur. This fear drives them to live cautiously, always aware of their mortality. Third number, What positive note does Casca strike in the death of Caesar? What does Brutus feel about it? Casca, as the first to strike Caesar, sees the assassination as a necessary act to free Rome from tyranny. Brutus feels that killing Caesar was a noble and justified act, believing it was done for the greater good of Rome. He views the assassination as a way to end Caesar's potential tyranny and restore freedom to the Roman Republic. However, his idealism blinds him to the chaos and bloodshed that will follow. Next, we have after this extract, what does Brutus ask the Romans to do? In what way does this seem to be a fulfillment of Calpurnia's dream? Brutus asked the Romans stoop, and let us bathe our hands in Caesar's blood. This act symbolizes their commitment to the cause and their belief in the righteousness of their actions. It also fulfills Calpurnia's dream, in which she saw Caesar's statue bleeding like a fountain, with Romans bathing their hands in his blood. This eerie parallel underscores the tragic nature of Caesar's death and the consequences of the conspirators' actions. Next, we have state briefly the role played by the assassination of Caesar in the storyline of Julius Caesar. So, the role of the assassination of Caesar in the storyline of Julius Caesar is very vital. It is the turning point of the play. Rome was a peaceful and well managed city before the assassination of Caesar. After the assassination of Caesar, Rome became a city of death, destruction, and anarchy. Now, we will discuss the last question. In the next video, we will be discussing the questions from 6 to 15. Okay, so today we will be doing till question number 5. The dialogue is Cassius, stoop then and wash. How many ages hence shall this our lofty scene be acted over in states unborn and ascent yet unknown? Brutus, how many times shall Caesar bleed in sport? That now on Pompey's basis lies along no worthier than the dust. Cassius, so oft as that shall be, so often shall the not of us be called, the men that gave their country liberty. Decius, what shall we forth? Cassius, every man away, Brutus shall lead, and we will grace his heels with the most boldest and best hearts of Rome. Enter a servant, to which Brutus says, soft, who comes here? When Cassius says, stoop then and wash, to whom he is speaking, what exactly does he mean? Who had just suggested washing? Cassius is speaking to the conspirators and the Romans present at the scene. He means that they should dip their hands in Caesar's blood as a symbolic act of commitment to their cause. Brutus had just suggested this act, urging the Romans to bathe their hands in Caesar's blood to show their dedication to freedom and the Republic. This macabre rituals reflects their belief in righteousness of their actions. Explain the meaning of states unborn, ascents, and Pompey's basis. So the first one, states unborn refers to future nations or societies that do not yet exist. Next is accents refers to language or dialects that are not yet known. And the last one, Pompey's basis refers to the base or pedestal of Pompey's statue where Caesar's body lies after his assassination. These terms emphasize the timeless and far reaching impact of Caesar's death, suggesting that it will be remembered and reenacted for generations to come. Third number, what does Brutus want to express when he says, how many times shall Caesar bleed in sport? Brutus is expressing the idea that Caesar's assassination will become a historical event reenacted in plays and performances for entertainment. He believes that their act will be remembered and celebrated as a noble sacrifice for the freedom of Rome. This statement reflects Brutus' idealism and his belief in the righteousness of their cause, even as it foreshadows the tragic consequences of their actions. Next, what does Cassius believe the not of us will be called and why? Cassius believes that the conspirators will be called the men that gave their country liberty, sees their act as a heroic effort to free Rome from Caesar's potential tyranny and restore the republic. This belief reflects Cassius' pride in their actions and his hope that history will remember them as a liberators rather than murderers. And there comes the last one of this passage. The entry of the servant of Antony may be said to mark the turning point of the whole play. Narrate very briefly in what way this is so. So, here the servant's entry may be considered the turning point of the play. The servant enters to ask the conspirators if Mark Antony could meet them to understand why Brutus and his fellow conspirators decided to kill Caesar. This point is the turning point in the play because it is a time that Brutus decides to invite Antony to come there so that he can be explained that cause of the killing of Caesar. This proved to be a mistake for Brutus because this is the time when he agreed that Antony could address citizens of Rome. Antony took full advantage of this and turned the opinion of people against Brutus. So, this was the answers for the MCQs and the five contextual questions. In the coming class or upcoming video, I will be discussing the next 6 to 15 contextual questions. Got it? Meanwhile, try to complete them and try to memorize these answers as they are important for your examination point of view. Thank you, everyone.